Hi, welcome to my channel. Who is deciding your future? Are you deciding it, or is the universe deciding it? That is a really good question to ask yourself, because as soon as you think something else is deciding your future and looking out for you and doing things that are in your best interest, so you want something but you think, well, maybe I won't get it because maybe the universe will, you worry and you think, what if the universe knows that this isn't right for me and I don't get it? That becomes tricky, and that becomes tricky to make this work when you feel like you're handing it over to something outside of you. I feel like everything is inside of me, and one really good way of looking at this is to think to yourself, we are all one of the same, we are all connected, and we know that, don't we? When we think about someone and they call us, and when we think about somebody and we visualize somebody, we can feel them, we don't just see them. I really do believe that we are all connected, and lots of people have had near-death experiences where they've been clinically dead, and they have said that they have felt just a oneness with absolutely everything, like with the trees, with the grass, with the sky. They've just been there and they just felt at work, just part of everything. So doesn't that then really make sense with this, that we are all connected? So if you like to think of it as the universe, think of the universe as being part of you. It's not away from you. Because when I think about the universe, I think about the vast universe out there. And, so I stopped referring to it as the universe because it started not to work for me. It started to make me think I was sort of waiting to see if this was right for me or not, and maybe the universe would say it wasn't right for me. So I started bringing it inward, a bit like Neville said, or God. I can kind of resonate with that. I don't think of myself as God because I couldn't quite resonate with the wording, but I did resonate with the fact that it's all us. We have the power. We have the power, and there's nothing deciding what's good for us and what's bad for us. Whatever this is inside of us, it doesn't care. If it's good for you or bad for you, it doesn't know. It just doesn't know if it's good for you or bad for you, unless you know intuitively. So if you've got an intuitive response that's saying, oh, it's not really right for you, it's not really right for you, that's a different thing because you openly know that. But if you are wanting to experience something that you've never experienced before, there's no part of you that has any experience of that, so doesn't know whether it's good for you or bad for you. There's nothing there that kicks in to stop this from happening, because you've had no experience of it, so you don't know. So you're just taking a leap of faith. And yes, it might work out and it might not work out, but you'll discover that. Don't worry too much about whether something will work out or won't work out. Just throw yourself into it if it's something that you really want. And then just say, if it isn't right for me, I'll find out at some point, and that's cool. I'll go with that at the time, but I'm just gonna see what happens. So you don't have to plan for every eventuality. You don't have to troubleshoot before you, experience your desire. You don't want to do that, because then you are bringing in all of the things that could go wrong. Well, don't worry about that. We'll just deal with that if they happen. You don't have to deal with it now. Not everything has to be dealt with beforehand, especially when it's something new that you haven't experienced before. So it's all you. You can call it your higher self, if you like. It doesn't really matter what you call it, but if you bring it in and you just think everything is part of me, rather than say I am part of everything, I would say everything is part of me. So you kind of claim everything. So nothing is outside of you. And for me, everything became much easier. Then I'm making decisions based on what I want and my feelings. It has nothing to do with the universe or anything else, because if the universe was looking out for you and just giving you what was in your best interest, look at all the stuff that you would have had in your life that you would have, that you've brought on yourself, but surely if the universe was looking after your best interests, it wouldn't have given it to you. So you can kind of look at it that way, because it's all about your feelings and all about you energetically. What you're experiencing is what's going on inside of you, the energy that you are influencing. So energy, you can't create energy, so you can't create energy and you can't destroy energy, but you can influence energy. So you can change something. If you think of, let's say, water, you can freeze water, so you can change the condition of it so you are changing it on an energetic level. It's going from liquid to solid. So that is what we do with energy. I know it's slightly different, but it's quite a good way to look at it. That is what we do with energy. We might feel a certain way and know that that's not doing us any good, and then think, how can I change that feeling so that it doesn't feel the same? Well, it's the same thing, but you've changed it. You haven't created a different energy, you've just manipulated the energy that's within you. Right, I'm going to stop there because, again, I know that I can tend to go off and start becoming all sciencey, and that's not what people are here for, but I do love science. Okay, thanks for watching. Really appreciate all of your support. If you haven't subscribed, then I'd love for you to do that and see what else I've got on offer. I'm not going to go on about my books and all of that stuff again because I can't be bothered, but I am going to say that if you want to see a lot more of my personal stories and how I've made this work for me over the years, which I can't talk about here because my husband we both have another business. He has another business again, and I've got to be very careful what I say online in case randomly one of his clients finds me and finds out what's going on in his personal life, so it's not great. But it is covered in my members area. So you can sign up for free and have a little look, have a poke around and see, and then you can see what I've done and what's worked for me. And it's not all about me personally, but there's one particular story which is I think it's just titled My Personal Story, and it's under, or A Very Personal Story, and it's under a specific person. So have a look. And it might just give you a better idea of why I talk a lot here about relationships. I will say no more.